Happy Weeb Wednesday! So we're back with kind of a negative-ish anime-related video talking about popular anime I just couldn't get into. Obviously, this is my opinion, but I do want to say I recognize that these are good anime, or anime at least with good traits and qualities about them. They just aren't maybe for me, or maybe I haven't watched them at the right moments, the right time in my life, perhaps. But I do think a lot of the reason that I just couldn't get into these anime was because for both manga and anime, I tend to really like it based on character likability. So if I like the characters, if I connect to a character, if I get invested in the characters, I tend to really get into the story. And I just couldn't get invested or find a favorite character to latch onto really in any of these. So yeah, but it doesn't mean I've necessarily given up all, 100% chance of ever trying to watch these all the way through. And honestly, feel free to comment below which anime you think I should give another chance to and why, because I love to hear it. I mean, obviously don't spoil things for me or else I won't want to continue it. But if you think there's like a really good argument to be made as to why I should just get to this episode, give it a try till this point, or, that it's got something of note for me as it goes on, and yeah, I'll happily read your comments and see how I feel. Maybe you can sway me. And before we get started, please do consider subscribing if you love manga and anime. I post every Monday a manga related video, and every other Wednesday right now I am posting an anime video like today. And if you like this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, because that really helps the algorithm, and the YouTube gods are happy, and so I am happy. But yes, so without further ado, let's just jump in with probably the one that left the biggest bad taste in my mouth, like the one I really just I would have a hard time trying to go back to it, but I also have a little bit of a curiosity. So yeah, and that is Neon Genesis Evangelion. I gave it a good solid try, okay? I got 10 episodes, 11 episodes deep, perhaps more. I have to go back to look at my Netflix. But I know I at least got into the double digits, because that's what I kept telling myself for the first 9 episodes. I'm like, just get to the double digits, and maybe by then you will be engrossed in this anime. No, it did not happen. I know this is deemed a classic. I get big, monsters being battled by giant mechas piloted by students is a big thing. I mean, Gundam's a huge thing, and it's similar in concept. So like, I get the appeal. I've never been a huge Gundam girly. I've never been a huge like giant mechs battle each other type thing. Like, it just doesn't really appeal to me when they're just big robots. But there have been exceptions, and if I can latch onto the characters, I tend to get into the story no matter what it is subject wise. So yeah, I mean, I just couldn't latch onto any of these characters. I mean, that's the premise, is these young school kids are handpicked, selected to pilot these giant mecha soldier robot things to defeat these giant creatures that are appearing and wreaking havoc. And obviously, like, it's scary, a job, a mission. It's for a kid. I get it. I don't want to be too hard on our main boy here, Shinji, but he is a whiny brat, and I've heard that. I have, and it's you can do whiny in a kind of likable way, and I understand his anxieties and I understand his reluctance. So I didn't want to be too harsh on him, but there's no positive or redeeming qualities about his personality. Like, because if there was, I think I could be more impartial and not be like annoyed by him. But I was like, hey, doesn't have to be the main boy, right? There's 2 side girls. So we got Ray, short-haired, very robotic, quiet, emotionless, no nonsense girl. Yeah, not my cup of tea. Like, never gonna be my cup of tea. I just don't like this type of character. Usually they have to have a fun quirk about them, like Freyrin or something, for me to enjoy. So no. Okay, next we got Asuna. Right? I love me a tsundere bitch. Like, I could get behind this girl, right? Oh my god, she's so grating. She's so annoying. Like, I get that they're tsunderes. You know, they were a huge staple of my childhood. I get that they can be off-putting. I get that they can be annoying, but they can also be done in a way that isn't like, oh my god, I just want to rip your head off. Shut up. Why are they so all damn unlikable? And then the adults are no better, really. They are just, oh my god, they're all just selfish bastards. Like, I don't know. There was not one redeemable character to me in this whole damn 10 or so episodes of Neon Genesis Evangelion to grab onto, to lash onto, to enjoy. So yeah, mecha battles are not gonna keep my interest. They are not. I'm sorry. Like, I am intrigued. I've heard intriguing things about the ending. I've heard like the movies give more like, you know, substance to the series as a whole. So it's like part of me is interested, but like, yeah, the rest of me is just so off-put. So put off by it. I'm just like, no more for me. However, I do own the manga version, and I thought if I can't hear them bitching and moaning and I can kind of like speed read through, maybe I'll get to a better part. But I've heard the manga makes some choices that are different than the anime, so even if I like that, I'm not sure how that'll compare. But yeah, all I have to say, I don't really see the appeal of Neon Genesis Evangelion unless you like giant mecha battles. Then all power to you. I totally get it. There is lots to be had. And yeah, but it's just not for me, not my cup of tea, I guess. So moving on, switching gears, we'll go to a romance or a slice of life, coming of age, themes that I am usually a huge sucker for. I just did not feel the love for this one. But again, I watched a large chunk of this one. I want to say I watched at least 8 episodes. I gave this one a definite fair shake as well, in my opinion anyway. Yes, I could have buckled down and just finished it because it's a shorter season, but yeah. Anyway, that is Your Lie in April. I know so many people who love this, and I don't know. I even have my own cousin who loves this one, and I tried to be like, oh, like you'll probably really like Anohana, which is similar, sad territory. Group of friends, young people going through some grief, going through some trauma. She was like, yeah, no, that one's shit. And I'm like, what? Excuse you? Anohana is my hill to die on. That is my tragic masterpiece. I will not name call back, but you see where I'm going with this. I almost wonder if you cannot like both. Please comment below if there is someone out there who likes both Your Lie in April and Anohana. Because I meet people and they either like Anohana or they like Your Lie in April, or they haven't watched one or the other. I don't know, it's curious. It's like if you watch one tragic coming of age story, you're just like, seen one, you've seen them all. And I did watch Anohana before this one, but to me, it was the unlikability again of the characters. I just really didn't like them. I gotta be honest. Yeah, got our main character here. I think he was the most interesting to me. I will give you that. I thought his trauma with his mother, very interesting. He is a genius piano player, but worked so hard and essentially hurt, you know, by his mother to make him a genius piano player, that she essentially destroyed him. She destroyed his self-esteem, his ego, his, I don't know, you know, will to play, his ability to play. And when she passed. And so that is like the catalyst. That is where we start. This genius child prodigy piano kid is now dealing with that, and he can't really play piano because of all of the baggage, right? And so he meets the whimsical cutie girl, you know, just playing her little weird instrument in the park one day, our titular female protagonist, and she inspires him, or really harangues him and pressures him into playing with her and to you know, do this kind of collab because she plays the violin. Great, all great. And then he has two childhood friends, one girl, one boy, who also play into this story quite a bit. There's feelings there. There's, you know, that little bit of romance and crushes, first love vibes. Like I said, there's also the coming of age and the trauma, and you know, being able to move past that and move forward in your life, and all good things that I like. Why did I find all these characters annoying? Like, what I will say is the music is beautiful. The animation is beautiful. Hands down, I will not ever say that it isn't, okay? It's both really gorgeous to look and to hear. I thought the composed pieces were really enjoyable. I liked listening to them. I think that's why I got so far. But when we get to episode 4, I go, ho, okay, yeah, I know where we're going. No, that's a can of worms I don't really care to open. Because A, I do not care about Violin Girl. See, I didn't even look up her name because I don't care. I am that mean. She is just that like manic pixie dream girl. And you could say like, oh, well, there's reasons, right? Yeah, like even as a teenager, because I watched this, or started to watch it as a teenager, and I liked that shit. I was giving tsundere and manic pixie dream girl vibes. I was a pick-me in a sense, because I was just, I'm not like the other girls, I'm quirky. You know, you're young and you think you're different and you're not like the other girls and whatever. So I should, in theory, have liked her. But she just felt so shallow and all over the place. And I get that there can be reasons for her shallowness, but like at the same time, I did not connect to her, and so I did not care to see the inevitable. And I'm sure it has a lovely, like, meaningful ending to it. I just don't care. Like, I've lived this far in my life without having seen the ending to it. And, you know, maybe the ending would surprise me. Like, again, just like with my curiosity is the only thing that keeps me going. Well, maybe I'd revisit it. Like, maybe the ending would be so good as to recontextualize what I watched and give it a greater meaning and be worthwhile. Because you never know until you get to the ending. I felt that I didn't like any of the characters, and I didn't care what happened to them. And on top of that, I didn't feel like watching a tragedy play out. It just a little bit felt like kind of that for the sake of it. I didn't feel like, was it meaningful? Is it actually? I don't know. But again, didn't finish it, so can't have a leg to stand on to say any of that. Just that I personally it did not excite me. It did not move me. It just left me feeling bitter and annoyed that it was trying to play with my emotions, and I wasn't having it. And yeah, and that brings us back to another classic that I just can't seem to bring myself to finish. And that's Cowboy Bebop. I love Samurai Champloo, which has, I believe it's by the same anime director, or they have huge influence by the same creator. And they both have amazing soundtracks. Like, I really, really enjoy Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. Again, I will not knock that, I think its animation is okay. I mean, not as stellar as Your Lie in April, but it's older. It's a lot older, so I cannot hold it to the same standards. It's fine for what it is. I think where I have the most trouble is its episodic nature. I can't seem to get into it because I can't seem to care about the characters again. And I want to. It's like a really good recipe for something I should care about. It's like space western vibes, which is interesting and fun. And we got Spike, our main character. He's like a space bounty hunter essentially, and he's going around with the other guy on a ship. Yep, don't remember his name. I could have looked these things up, but you know what? That would require me to care. I'm being shady, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know a lot of people love this one, and like I do get that we get more of Spike's backstory. I just like, do I care if I don't care about him personally right now before we even get his backstory? Like, will his backstory influence my decision to like care about his character more? Maybe. But yeah, the episodic nature of the show is not helping because things feel too like, okay, move on from one case to the next case to the next case to the next, and a lot of them are tragic, which doesn't bother me. If anything, you'd think I'd like it more because like, oh, it's so dark and tragic and like, but it's also very slow paced. Like Samurai Champloo, in my memory, so it's been a while since I watched it, it felt very fast paced, and it felt very like the fights were so energetic and crazy, and that's what it was very enjoyable to watch the fights. These fights feel very stilted and overall just kind of boring. The fights that I recall from Samurai Champloo are so dynamic and high energy that that's what I was expecting with these fights, but it's not what I felt like I got. It's not as fun. I don't know. And then we got introduced to Faye Valentine, which I was really like keeping watching so that I could get to this girl because I'm like, she's a baddie. It seems really cool, right? And we get introduced to her and then she leaves. She's not part of the crew. Where I've gotten to, I think she just got back with the crew. They cross paths again, but I thought she would immediately join the crew and be like together. And then there's this dog and this kid, which I don't know. Like I get that they're slowly building the crew, and then the crew will come together, and then more things from Spike's backstory, and like it'll make it a more cohesive story, right? But like it's very slow pace. It's taking us a while to get to that point, and I'm just losing my patience with it, I guess. I feel bad because like, again, I know it's like a classic and I should really care about it and enjoy it. Like I feel like when something is deemed a classic, it automatically like leaves it with, you can't have fault in this thing because it is a classic. It has legendary status or whatever, so I can't find fault in it. But I do. I just don't enjoy myself when I watch it. And I get that there are different types of anime and different people enjoy different types of anime, and that's great. Like I like an anime that really sucks me in. I was not having that fun time with Cowboy Bebop, and it's sad. It bums me out. It does. Like I feel really guilty about it because I really thought out of all of these that was the one that I was gonna love, because I did love Samurai Champloo, that I was gonna love this one. And again, I think if I could watch it like with somebody, it would be like a little bit of a better experience, because you could just watch a couple episodes and then go back and watch a couple, like, because that's what it feels like you should want to do. That's how it feels like you should experience this anime. And I'm more of a girl that likes to just binge an anime and just have a nice, watch a whole bunch of episodes and really get sucked into the anime. And it was not sucking me in. So yeah, it was just really unfortunate. But yeah, and that brings us to the final anime that's popular that I just couldn't get into, and that's Violet Evergarden. Beautiful animation, gorgeous, loved the animation. I felt like the animation was a very beautiful covering on a very boring anime. This animation was so beautiful. And again, it was like I went in thinking like, how could this not suck me in? It's such a feast for my eyes. It's so enjoyable to look at. The story was fine. Our main character is just the type of character I do not like, so it was going to be an uphill battle. She is emotionless, stoic, robotic, essentially had it, part robot, so at least that fits. And sometimes I can warm up to that type of character if there's other characters around it that like you know, lighten him up, flesh him out. But I gotta be honest, none of the reoccurring characters that like work with her left an impression on me. I don't remember how far I got in this one. It's probably the least out of all of them. I think I only watched 3 or 4 episodes. Oh, Bebop I gave like 7 episodes, I think. 6 or 7. Again, give it a good try. But yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, this one is probably the least amount. And like I said, gorgeous art, gorgeous like cinematography. The animation was just so fun to look at, but yet I couldn't connect to a single character. And it was so slow again. So, I mean, this one made sense to be slow because it seems like it's more of a character piece. It's more of a rumination on life and memories and you know, different things and different like deep things to think about and ponder. And I like that concept. That concept sounds really nice. Can you just give me some characters to like latch onto? For me, it just wasn't an engrossing story. I understood where it was going and what it was trying to do with it. It just wasn't doing it for me. It was just not giving me that emotional gut punch. It was not resonating with me. I again, like Your Lie in April, I sat there and I said, okay, I get what you're doing. I get how I should be feeling about this, but there's a disconnect because I am not feeling the way you want me to be feeling about it. You want me to be going, oh, it's so beautiful, and I am a giant crybaby, so usually I am being like, oh my God, it's so profound, it's so beautiful. It has such a way with, you know, bringing up these emotions or, you know, telling the story, but it just felt very stiff. And I think that this one boils down to just not being a likable protagonist for me personally. She was off-putting. She was unemotional while having to be the through line for emotional stories. And I get that they kind of like seem to be trying to bring the emotion out of her or like make her see how, you know, to connect with people and to like, you know, do that since the war and all that. It was trying really hard. I just was not receiving the feels and the weight that it wanted to imbue on me. And yeah, I mean, like always, whenever I can't get into an anime or manga, no matter if they're popular like these 4 or not, I do feel bad and I do feel like, why doesn't this click with me like it does with other people? It's just so much more in your face when it's a piece of popular media, because it's like, well, these other people like it, why don't you, dummy? Like, you should like it too. But I can't, for whatever reason. I tried to explain it best I could, but I know my reasons were shaky at best. But yeah, I just couldn't get into these anime, sadly. And I'm curious if any of you watching also couldn't get into these anime and are like me. But like I said in the beginning, you are more than welcome to try to convince me down below why I should give these another try, any of them in particular, or all of them even. But yeah, I do know that they are well loved, and I get it for the most part. Like I said, there are good qualities about all of them, and for a lot of them I felt kind of just sad and confused as to why I was not also getting heavily invested and enjoying these as well. I hope you were not offended by any of my little mean jabs I made at times and my little pettiness that came out. I do see their good qualities as well, which is, you know, what I want to leave off on saying again. I do not think these are like horrendous, horrible anime that no one should watch. They are really popular anime for a reason. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. If not, maybe next time if you feel like watching another one from me. Don't be too mad at me. But yeah, until next time, bye!